Well, hello there. It's a Tell Me Something Good Thursday. I'm just wondering, is there enough good news to share? Now, last time I was here, I said, hey, the next time you see me live, you hear me live, or you hear me on repeat because you're listening to the podcast, we are going to have a new president. And for many, it was a somber day. And I'm sure for some, it was a great day. So I figured I want to make sure on this show today that I want to hear from you. I want to open up the phone lines to simply have a conversation about the election results. Yes, Donald J. Trump has been announced as the 47th president. Now, many have had mixed reviews. Many feel like their rights are being abused. What say you? You know, I had to stretch it there. But no, these are the types of conversations that I want to assure to express and direct strictly from the people about how they feel with this new type of leadership. And what I realized too is that in this discussion, I want to make sure it's a safe space so that people can really express because this is not going to just affect one person. This is not going to just impact one community, one country. This is essentially going to impact the lives around the world. And I know that sounds dramatic. You're like, Dawn, he is the president of the United States or soon to be, but still, um, there's a lot of talk about the tariffs. We're talking about certain individuals or groups, immigrants being deported. This is the thing that's the biggest thing ever. On top of the fact, people have talked about Project 25. Um, what does this mean for women? And if you are not a woman, do you have a daughter, a sibling, an aunt? This is a tale that's going to be 360. 5. Oh no, 360 around. So this is the show that today I said I'm not starting off with a vitamin D. I'm not starting off with a vitamin D advice letter. I want to get straight into the pocket. I made sure that I made time to pull up. And now let's talk about it. What does this mean? Are you mad? Are you sad? Or are you glad that Donald Trump is now been announced as the 47th president? Again, this is strictly with the conversation. So I want to say right now, call me. Call me in the studio right now, 818 461 5432. I am actually putting the number in the chat. I need you to call me right now. I even had someone at here at the station, the studio. And before the last time we had the conversation on Halloween last week, Thursday, was in a debate with a personal friend that has been a friend of the show, L, and was like, "Yo, I'm in between. I see the good in Donald, and I see some stuff in Kamala. Oh, Kamala. Lord, did I just pronounce her name? Lord, Kamala." And here's the thing. My friend was like, wait, what? How could you support this? But then I called him because I was coming in the studio today and he said, you know what? I got to talk to you about something. Who was that? Your sister on the phone? I said, well, that's my sister friend. He was like, it's unfortunate that the votes didn't go in the favor of majority of the people. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean by that? He was like, well, I had to do some extensive research and I had to really think about it. And he was like, I had to think about my daughters and what this means to them. And I said, wow. It was very impressive because, sometimes people can be on their stubborn stool, just don't want to budge, don't want to have open hearts, open minds. But he said, hold up, wait a minute, Dawn. I want to share something with you. I had a chance to think about it. So we've had what? We had about a good 48 hours to think about what this election means. So the phone lines are open. I'm waiting for you to call me. Tell me something good. Tell me something not so good. But just talk to me. I pulled up specifically for us to engage in dialogue. because there are some good things and maybe some not so good things. Hey, Joe. Joe, call me. I don't know if I ever heard your voice. Call me in the studio. Joe pulling up on Facebook. Joe, I want you to call me right now. I would pull up on you and call you, but I don't have your number. Call me right now, 818-461-5432. I'm looking at the phone right now, Joe. Is that you? And good evening as well. Because in a minute, I'm about to start calling people. Don't just sit here and look at me because I feel like, honestly, truth be told, we've been sitting around looking around too long because now it's time to start action. Joe said no. Okay, Joe. Caught the memo, Joe. Well, I want to welcome anyone else that would like to call. For real. This is a real conversation. And if we can't have this conversation amongst ourselves, then what are we doing? Bear, can you call me? I want to hear from you, Bear. In fact, if not, I'm about to call Miss Mayan because I just want to hear some thoughts, views, and opinion. And also, Bear, since you're on, I was thinking about this too. There was a lot of rhetoric going around talking about how black men aren't trusting of women, or how come black men aren't supporting Kamala, and how they're going opposed. And the results came in. I believe it was over 70% of black men that actually voted, and they voted in Kamala Harris's favor. So what does that mean? Now, what they did show in the polls, I believe it was white men, white women, and also Latino men, if I'm not mistaken, who did majority of the vote when it came down to Donald Trump. So the question stands, how do you feel about it? You got to have some type of views, thoughts, or opinions. And let me just be clear. We are not here to bash. We are not here to bash. We are here to have a conversation because just like anything, you eat the meat and you spit out the bones, right? Can I share something with you? Is this a safe space? Because what I'm about to say, I don't know how it's going to be received. But all I know how to do is keep it real so you know the deal. So, one of the things that I was thinking about, and again, I can't say that I'm deeply well versed when it comes to politics. But one thing, I don't know to the extent of what it means, but when it comes down to people who are not legal citizens and whether or not should they stay, I'm gonna have to say no. I think the same opportunity should come about for everyone to do your research, to file your paperwork, to become a citizen. But I don't think I see anything wrong. Oh, let me be mindful of my words because once it's out there about how it feels, whether or not those who are not legal citizens should be deported. I mean, think about it this way. If you just think about the economy overall, yes, you have people who perhaps will work for a lower wage to do work. But what does that mean for the people that are living in society in the community? Because now those jobs are being taken away. Think of it like this: if you are a baby boomer, you've been at a job, okay? Then all of a sudden they hiring some young buck to come through that they paying $20 less, right? You can imagine the duress that a lot of people experience. Well, why wouldn't that be the same thing or the same case when it comes to people who are not legal citizens of the United States? We are taking jobs away from people that reside here, the people that are paying taxes here. So my thing is that not that they should not be here, but you should be here under the same I want to say under the same context of everybody else got to be a citizen. You got to apply. You need to learn what it is that we do. So, all right, Latasha's in the house. Latasha, you want to call me? Or I'm about to call Miss Maya. What we about to do? Because I want to hear your thoughts. And you were at the polls. What's going on, Dale? Dale, what's going I saw Dale last Saturday over at Black Men's Wellness Day. And Miss Felicia, his wife. Now, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm about to pull up on Miss Maya because she specifically sent me her number, and I took it as she wanted me to call her. Let's see what happened. Miss Latasha, you might be up next.
Hello.
Hello there, Miss Maya.
Hi.
How you doing?
Oh, so. How you doing?
I'm good. You know, I made it in on the live. Are you tuning in?
Yeah. I was just about to jump on right now. I was just finishing cleaning up my kitchen. Yeah, I didn't forget. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna go on get this out the way. I'm talking about cleaning up my kitchen now, not talking, to you guys.
Right. So I
Yeah.
called you. You live on the air right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You wanted me to call you back? I was calling because I wanted to know what your thoughts were with the results of the election.
Oh man, I'm really heartbroken because I did not vote for him. I didn't want him to win, because of how he is. Look at what he did, and it's just too much. How could they let somebody like that in the White House? Right? It's like I don't know. I just think that I wouldn't say that the election was rigged, but I think something may have gone on inside that we don't know about yet. Because if it would have been him, if he would have lost,
Oh,
he'd have been
baby.
blowing up stuff, girl, like he did last time.
And he
Remember
made it very
January 6th, what
clear.
he did?
He
So
made it very
yeah,
clear of what could happen or if that there could be a major issue if he didn't win.
right, yeah, that's I'm just still heartbroken over it. I don't even know what to say right about now. I got to try to get myself together because I don't want to get myself sick over this man. Because if I do, what is he gonna do? He ain't gonna do nothing. Don't even know me, and ain't even gonna care. He just happy that he won and he has power now. But it is what it is. So I don't know.
One of the things,
So
to
how
be
you?
honest and true about it, is that he's never went into hiding about who he is. He's came forth since day one, and I feel as though
Uh
a lot
huh.
of people were attracted to that, to the fact that he is. He isn't. It's very clear who he is, and while some people say, "Oh, was it rigged?" President Biden came forth and said the electoral votes are as transparent as they can get. And I think, if
Yeah.
anything, we ought to take a look around and say, hey, this is what America wanted, truly. And so then it
Mhm.
becomes, well, what does that say about America?
Right. Yeah. Yep. So I don't know, Don. I'm just like, oh man, I
Do
got
you
to
have
get
any
myself together.
daughters?
I have a daughter. Yeah. Today is her birthday too.
Oh,
Yeah.
happy
She turned 20. Okay. I'll tell her. I think she went in there to go take a shower because she's going to she's at Dominguez Hills and she just signed up. She wants to be an AKA. So they have like these meetings every day, girl. And I'm like, why you want to do all that? She's gonna finish in May of next year. So, but yeah. So yep, I have a daughter, but yeah, it's bad how Trump want to do for women. It's bad.
it is. That is what it
Very, very
is.
bad. I don't, and I told my daughter, I said, make sure you go vote. She said she did, and I know me and my son and my husband, all three of us, we went together. So
Hmm.
yeah, we did. But my daughter, she said she did vote. So she said she did. She didn't vote Trump. All of us was for Kamala. But girl, I don't know, Don. I'm just like,
Shoot,
well,
a lot of
what
people
can we
saying
do
they
now?
getting out of Dodge. That's what they said. They said they getting out of Dodge. I think
Really?
I think right now is that we have to uplift the conversation about what does this mean as what we need to do as a people. Because it is
Right.
what it is. Now, we can't cry over
Mhm.
spilled milk, but how do we move forward? In fact, Dale Carnegie, he
Uh
says
huh.
on Facebook, California showed up for Kamala, but dropped the ball on the propositions that matter. Can't cry over spilled milk. So now it's time to educate our people and move forward as one.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's the only thing we can do is move forward.
Because the
What
past
else
is
can we
behind us
do?
and we're not going that way. But
Right.
the
You
thing
can't go
about it
back.
is, what's happening with Project 25
Oh
or
man, that's
2025, the past could be right here in the present. I mean, if
huh.
we just think about it all the way that he's talking about, the police officers they have immunity. Now we know what is being done without the immunity. With being sued, can you imagine having free reign to do whatever, however, whenever you want?
Mhm. Hmm. Man,
Bears
I
say,
don't know.
regardless of who the American president is, The good Lord
Right.
oversees the final decision. Amen. Okay, well, Miss Myrna, I just
Amen.
want to
I know
see
that's true.
if you
That's
had something
right.
you wanted to specially say, a shout out or anything, just in this conversation, because you made sure you said, Dawn, you
Okay.
got my number, lock me in. I said, I got it.
Okay, I know. I was like, no, she knows she better keep my number. She know I've been with her a long time.
Long, long
Ever
time
since we was
since
on the
day
SN
one.
dial, I was like, I'm gonna keep up with her. I said she
Yes.
got good conversation. I was like,
Verbal relation.
she be talking good points. Let me stay with her, you know? Yeah.
Okay, well, I got another call
Okay.
coming in.
Okay.
Call me
All
back if
right.
you any come to mind, okay?
Okay. I'm gonna log in right now.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Talk to me. Hello.
Hello,
Hey, who's this?
this is your brother, sis. How you doing?
Oh, Proverb, what's the word?
Yes, I was calling to see how you was doing, how you was maintaining.
I think it's a lot of still digestion of what's going on. I ain't gonna hold you. I was anxious. I was anxious leading up to what the results are. The fact of the matter, we have to realize this is what the people wanted.
Okay.
I think, I'm gonna say this lightly because I want to make sure I, say it, but I was just saying on the start of the show. One of the things that make room for me, y'all, as I get this out my mouth, and let me clear it up if it sounds sideways, is that I'm not mad at the whole idea of Trump saying he wants to deport illegal immigrants.
Okay.
And I say that because I do think it's a little bit unfair to have those who basically you're essentially taking jobs away from people that do live in the US. And I get it. On one end, you have somebody that may do better work. You can pay them less, but if you can't empathize from how I just stated that, it's no different if you're a baby boomer and you're in the workforce and you got all these young people, coming in where you're paying them $20 less with less experience and you out of a
Mhm.
job. Well, aren't we knocking our own people out of jobs?
So, yeah, that's true. That is true. I just, you know what? I had a very interesting conversation with your nephew, my son, and uh, he let me know how he felt about the election. I told him I wasn't going to put him on blast about anything he did or how he voted, but it was really interesting hearing what he thought about everything. And he basically kind of went old school. He said, it's everything is based upon our movement, on how we do. The president is always going to be put out there, but it's always up to us to make sure that we provide and we make sure that everybody understands. Um, the truth of the matter is, we're here. We've always been here, dealing with whether it's good or bad. But the question is, when are as a people, when are we going to start getting together on what we believe in? That's the question, because it's so much stuff that the undertow is about to happen. It's so much stuff that people aren't ready for, but they think they're ready for it. And it's strangely enough, when you have a profession like what I'm doing, and they tell you, guess what, we're gonna replace you with a computer robot, an AI that's gonna drive around the city, and we just want you to sit there and watch it. That's kind of crazy in a sense. So I'm looking at a lot of things differently now. It's just preparation and understanding that truly you go to college to get these degrees, but your degree really ain't gonna be worth too much of anything when they don't even want to pay you what you do. So it's crazy. I feel like we're gonna learn a lot these 4 years. So just get ready for it. That's pretty much what it is. And then learn about your local systems, learn about the judges, learn about the court systems, because courts can control a lot of stuff that we weren't familiar with. So that's it.
No,
And
you better.
we gotta start being good to ourselves. We we treat each other so badly out here in these streets. It's ridiculous. So that's it. That's it. That's all I have to say. Much love to you, sis. Keep doing what you're doing. I don't ever want to see you just stop. Just keep going. That's all I'm gonna keep saying. Just keep going. Okay.
Thank you. Ooh, you got me emotional there. Pulled on a little cord there, just truth be told, I said, I got my show coming up at the Groundlings. I got on my shirt.
Okay.
And I was like, I gotta finish up my script. I was like, but I told everybody that I was gonna be live. And I'm like, is it foolish for me to come up here? And my friend was like, no, Dawn, you building your audience and your fan base. You gotta stand by your integrity and pull up. So you calling me, I didn't have to call you. I appreciate that. So thank you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was funny because Tuesday had came and gone, and I was like, I'm not gonna miss Thursday.
I had
what I'm
announced
not
that
gonna do is miss
Tuesday.
Thursday because I knew we was gonna have plenty to talk about after this election. I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. So yeah, it's very interesting. Just keep your I'm keeping you prayed up and just be careful out in these streets and enjoy life. Keep that smile on your face, okay?
All right. Thank you, big brother.
No problem. Big brother going to the gym. No, I'm breaking this down. I'm breaking it
Come
down.
on. Did you see my IG story? I'm outside.
I did. I seen you. I seen you in them gyms. I seen you in the streets. You out there. You outside. I see you.
What a honey said. It's about to be crazy.
Oh yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. Well, I will just reach out to me. I'm off this week, so just reach out to me.
All right, I'll call you.
Much love.
All right, love you. Bye.
All right, bye.
What does this mean? But he said he didn't want to put his son on blast. But I am interested to see what the young people are talking about. Because honestly, we do have to shift our mindset. Now, the thing that's interesting is that, we looking on one lens about how the controlling of women's bodies and so forth. How come we not having more control of what's happening with AI? That's really impacting our economy and the world. Because I guess just like Elon Musk said, the people that's really going to struggle is the middle class. Now, I was just looking at a post somebody had put up, and he says, Black folk, with Republicans controlling the House, Senate, and Supreme Court, Trump could push his qualified immunity law, which will turn America, spelled AMERIKKKA, into hunting season for us. Stay vigilant and get active. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Does it scare you? What do you think we need to do? Now, one thing Brother Proverb made very clear, he said, you know what? We need to get more involved in what's happening locally when it comes to voting and knowing who our judges are, because those are the things that closely impact us. And I realize that a lot of people really get hyped up for the presidential election. But what about the local elections? The people that are amplifying our voice before it gets to the White House or gets up into the whole political atmosphere. What does that look like? So I want y'all to call me. We're talking about after the election has been announced. Are you mad? Are you sad? Are you glad that Donald J. Trump has been elected as the 47th president? Let's talk about it. I pulled up specifically so we can talk about it. Now, Latasha, where you at, girl? Do I need to call you? Because I feel as though you have a different lens amongst everybody else, because you actually said that you were out at the polls. You saw what was going on. How do you feel? What does this mean to our community? What does this mean for our community? I want to hear from y'all. Call me in the studio or we can cut it short. I'm just saying. I'm here for a conversation. Latasha, call me, girl. I'm looking for your number right now. Call me right now. What you mean? What's sad about this? Why are you so sad about it? Let's vocalize this. Have we really thought what this means for us, for our future, for our community? Hmm. All right, let me call Natasha.
Hi, Don. How are you?
I'm good. I'm grateful to be alive. How you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
Amen. So the results have been announced. Donald J. Trump is president. How do you feel about it?
It's sad. It's very sad because now we're at a stage for the next few years, the unknown, what can possibly be a disadvantage for us as African Americans, Blacks, however we may want to call ourselves. But it's very sad because we don't know now, and he's not really for us African Americans at all. And when I was working the polls, I was really, I'm going to be honest, I was really surprised that a lot of people were voting for Trump that were African American and Hispanic. My attitude was, kindly. I was like, oh, okay, trying to, compose myself. But at the same time, I'm saying, why? Do you not see what this nut is going to do? Do you not see what's ahead of us? Do you have grandchildren? Do you have children? I mean, what's going on? I mean, do you not see it, or am I just blind? I don't know. That's one thing about me, Don. Whenever I get ready to do my voting, I always play that song by Teddy Pendergrass or Melvin and the Blue Notes. I don't remember, but it's called "Wake Up Everybody." It's time, no sleeping in bed.
Wake up,
You know what I'm talking about?
everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Yes.
That yes, that is my number one song that I always play when it's time to get ready to vote. And it's very important. It's very important that we get us as African Americans out to get out and vote, but it's sad who's in office. I'm also sad because the DA Gaskin, as you know, I work for LA
Gascon.
County,
Hmm.
he didn't get his seat. So then what about the ones who have loved ones that are incarcerated? What's going to happen now? He was not for the big punishment, being locked up in jail. He was more for the treatment program. And this new guy, he's all for the big punishment. But at the end of the day, like I always say, by me working in the jails, four walls, bars around you, what are you doing? You're not solving the situation. You're not solving anything. All he's doing is bringing on more mental health issues. Right now, I'm sorry, Don, I'm watching on the news a pursuit of a shooting that's going on. And I know this young lady will be at my jail tomorrow morning for Sun Valley, and I'm going to have to evaluate her.
Wait,
And
what do you
she's us, African American.
what do you mean that wait, whoa, 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 back up. You say you're watching a pursuit and you know that this woman is going to end up at your jail.
Yeah, she's going to be there tomorrow morning because what happens is she would get arrested. It's on the news right now. I mean, as you know, we all in California. So I'm watching Cal News, and it's a high speed chase going on, a pursuit shooting of a suspect. And so it's a young lady, they're African American, inside the car. And normally, once they get pulled over, get booked in, they end up at the women's jail. So when I go to work tomorrow, guess who's going to be evaluating her? Whether if she's going through mental health issues or if it's substance, I don't know just yet. But there's something going on.
So let me ask you this. You
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like she should go to jail?
Well, I didn't even really get the whole. I was so focused on you at the same time. I didn't really understand of why is the pursuit. What's really going on behind it? You know how the news can put anything up, but
That's
we
true.
don't really know until you know the next day what really happened. I think she should if she committed that type of crime.
Right,
But if
okay.
she didn't, then I have an issue with that because as I'm working in the jails, I'm one of the people that's on the panel that makes a decision if we're going to send you to prison, if we're going to release you, or put you in a treatment program. Me personally, I hear your case, I hear everything out. I look at your past history, and I feel that jail is not always the solution. prison is not always the solution. Now, I do have some young ladies, they do let me know, I would like to go to prison. Okay, why? And then I have to understand, are you afraid of society or society afraid of you? Which one is it? And then once I dig a little bit deeper, as they call it, poke the bear, then they end up telling me why they want to go.
And what are some of the uncommon reasons or that people would be shocked to find out?
Um, I'm just shocked, period. But in some of the reasons they may say, I don't want to be here at the county jail. Prison, we get more food, we get more activities, we get more rec, or whatever may be the case. Then you never know. They may have been a witness of something, or they may have been a part of something. You know, that's one reason why, because people know when people are getting transported. Even though we're at the women's jail, from the time you leave us, get on the bus, go wherever you're going, people know because they're able to keep track just like we are. They're able to go inside the system just like we are, but they can't go as deep. But they can go on LASD, which is the LA County Sheriff Department booking sheet, and it can let you know this person was released here, this person went here. So you know where they're at. But if they went to a treatment program, of course you don't know where they're at.
So what's the possibility that somebody might want to go to prison because they want to be locked up with somebody else that they may have beef with? Is that what you're saying?
I have not, yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes what I'm trying to say is, say, like, for instance, I'm going to give you a prime example. It was a killing out here. Just say LA County. There was a killing in Compton. I'm just making up something.
hmm.
There was a killing in Compton. The girl ended up getting 12 years. Then she gets shipped to CCW, which is the Chumchilla prison up there, further out. She gets shipped there. A lot of girls may know already, okay, this is such and such name. She was a part of a killing. And, either they're going to jump you or either they're going to help you.
Oh wow.
And sometimes that does happen.
Oh wow.
And it's sad. It's really, really, it's sad. I mean, I love my job as a social worker, Don. I do, because I feel that I'm making a difference every day inside the jails with the young ladies. And I am giving everyone an opportunity where, to the point that, hey, we can change things around, maybe look at life a little bit different. But at some point, I have to say ding dong to myself. They're constantly an open door. So what am I going to do? You constantly, I let you out. You come back 10 or 12 days later. I say, what happened? You tell me I had the monkey on my back. I had to understand what that was, because I sure didn't know what that meant until someone told me. And,
Well, that's just
you
when
know,
you on drugs, right?
yeah, at first I thought they were talking about my race. So I was on prison, but I didn't. I was just like, oh, okay. You know, because I thought they were talking about my race. So I took it a different way, because they were saying the monkey on their back.
Right,
And I didn't
right.
know what that meant at the time. And I was just like, what is that? Is she talking about my race? And they were like, no, she's talking about chasing the drug. I said, oh, okay, now I understand what it was meaning, because my mind went somewhere else. Like, you're not going to keep on telling me this in my face.
Right.
So I had to do a lot of, reality check within myself. And at the end of the day, I end up putting the woman in a treatment program, and she's doing well from what I hear.
Oh wow. Thank you so much for that.
Yes,
Let me
yes,
ask you
yes.
this. So because you do work within the correctional system facility, however you want to say it, Proposition 36 was on the ballot, and I believe individuals voted yes. And I think it's and I family, you watch it, you listen and make room. If I misspeak on something, just note it in the comments. But essentially, with Proposition 36, it's a harsher punishment for those who keep returning back or keep committing crimes. Do you think that the punishment should get more severe, or you think that's unfair?
I think it's unfair, because
See,
what are you doing? I mean, I'm sorry, Doc. What are you doing? I mean, to me, you go to jail, we lock you up for 30 days or 60 days, then you get out, then you come back. I mean, there's something going on mentally. There's something really going on mentally. But people don't think of that. All they see is African American men, African American woman, or Latino men or woman, clean, clean. That's what they see because that's what's predominantly in our jails as we speak now. It's predominantly African American and Latinos. Other cultures, very little, but it's mainly us.
Interesting. I didn't take your perspective in consideration. I ignorantly, the first thing I'm thinking about, if you keep committing a crime, yes, it's going to get more severe because you haven't learned your lesson. And why am I still going to keep putting a lot of spanking on your wrist? Because clearly it's like somebody, you keep giving them the rope, they're gonna soon hang themselves. Now that
Right.
probably wasn't the right
And that's the way
context for
I
this,
look at
but
it.
I mean, I'm just
I'm the
saying,
one
why
that
shouldn't it
tells
be
you,
more severe? Like, why do you keep doing it? At what point do you stop?
right, right. And that's where I come in, where I want to poke the bear. I want to
Mm.
constantly poke the bear because I want to know there's some underlying issues that I'm not aware of. In some kind of way, I'm going to try my best to get them out of you. And then we work through them, the underlying issues, because trauma can start at a young age. A child can
Mm.
be molested, whatever may be the case. And that trauma will carry them for so long, Don, where till they become an adult and then they act out with the trauma, or they go and start drinking or smoking or doing activities, going to jail back and forth, because they're trying to cover up what they're going through, trauma. And it brings in PTSD, it brings in anxiety, it brings in depression.
You made a
So,
great point just there. Now that I think about it, you're right. Is this supposed to basically take people's lives away or help carve out a new pathway? And I think that's probably like the underlining thing when we think about our, prison systems, the jails. Is it about just taking somebody's opportunity in life, or do we need to get to the heart of the matter? Because it
and
had to
I'm the
stem
one
from
that gets to the
somewhere.
heart of the matter. I don't believe that everyone should belong in jail just because you committed a crime. I understand, but at the end of the day, you're still human. You put on your pants just like me, one leg at a time. You still got blood flowing through your body just like me. You're no different than me. The only difference is you committed a crime and I did not. But that doesn't mean that you're a bad person to me. No, we're going to find out what's really going on. Well, at least I do. I can only speak for me, Don. I can't speak for the other social workers in the jails. But I'm going to tell you one thing about me. They will let you know. This one, she's going to make sure she helps you get you out. And if you return back again, she's going to be upset. But she's going to try again. And then after a while, like I said, I have to wake up and say, what's going on? Because I'm giving you the get out of jail free card. What are
Mm,
you doing with it? It's
mm.
something going on that I don't know, but I need to get to the bottom of it.
Well, thank you for your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. And with Gaskin leaving office, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be
What does this
really, really
mean?
hard.
What do you think this
Really
means for
hard.
LA?
Yeah, yeah. He's gonna he got voted out by the other guy. I can't think of the other guy's name.
No, I'm
James
saying,
or
but what does this
Shepin
mean
or
for LA?
yes, for LA County.
No, what
Yes,
does
the
it mean
DA.
for us? Like, what do you think people need to
Oh,
be
oh,
aware?
what does it mean? What it means is that the other one is more for the death penalty, putting
Mm,
people behind bars for years with no questions asked. When
mm,
Gaskin was releasing the loved ones, yeah, he was doing a snatch and grab. Yes, that was wrong. I get that. But he believed in some of the people cases that he digged up, that was valid enough that he did release people back to their families.
mm,
But
mm,
like the Menendez boys,
mm.
I don't even want to speak on that. That's just a story within itself that I don't know what to say.
Okay. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I
No
appreciate you.
problem, Don. As always, I don't mind getting on the radio and thank you for allowing me to have this moment to speak to everyone.
Well, I'm just so grateful that you constantly pull up. And while we're at it, go ahead and give a shout out to your organization and what kind of services that you offer for people that are trying to get back on the right track or just can need another hand.
Yes, yes, everyone. My name is Miss Jackson. The name of my nonprofit outside of my LA County job is called Sunshine Community Resource Organization Center. And we're based out of Long Beach, Bixby Knolls. But we will help anyone in LA County, Orange County, San Bernardino County. It's kind of like come one, come all. We never turn no one away. We provide services as domestic violence, anger management, parenting, supervised visitation monitoring, CPR, live scan, fingerprinting, also ordained, where, I'm learning now, you guys, how to marry people. And
Hello, I'm
and
ordained. Okay.
also chemical dependency with traffic school.
All right. Well, definitely check them out. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I'm about to get back on the radio line. Excuse me, I'm about to go back online.
Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Okay, then. Thank you. Okay,
Thank
bye bye.
you. Well, there you got it. I mean, wow. I know some of our family here have been incarcerated, and been in different programs to reform, working for ways to get their record expunged. So, with this new election and Gascon being voted out, what does this mean for the family? Now, Dale Cornegay says, Dawn, you need to call Tim, one of the Cornegays. Tim has been a very activist in the community, so I'm going to try to give him a call and see if I get him. Dale, I hope you told him I was going to call. He probably like, what number is this? Who calling me? Mm, 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 mm.
Telephone number 3.
Oh, don't want to do that again. All right, so we tried to call Tim Cornegay. Dale, do you want me to call you? Dale, what you got to say? Let me see if Dale is still here.
I might be gonna do it while I'm driving.
Wait, can you talk? Are you safe to talk?
Let me not right now. Nah, not right now. I'm on this 405, bumper to bumper.
Okay, well, don't talk. Okay. Thank you for
That's
being
why I said
safe.
call in. Let me hit him up. He might be on the phone call.
Okay.
But we need to holler at him. I know he got a lot
I
to
know
say.
I just called him. I was like, he probably didn't recognize the number.
All right, sir.
All right. All right. So yes, we are helping up the conversation, talking about how people are you mad, sad, or glad that now Donald J. Trump has been elected the 47th president. And more importantly, what does that mean? Now, I understand that many people are looking at it as a negative way, but if we can just be real, we can just be honest. Everything Trump is talking about, do you think it's all bad? Do you think some parts are good, some parts are effective? And I'm just saying, because realistically speaking, if everything was all bad, how we feel that it is, would America be voting? Would you still see people that look like you, sound like you, walk like you, talk like you, grew up in the same neighborhoods as you, and still say that they are voting for President Donald J. Trump? I don't know why was that hesitant for me to say? I don't know why. Because he's not president right now. But I guess after you're president, you're always referred to as the president. But nevertheless, that's the conversation that we are having. And I want to welcome you to call me in the studio right now, 818-461-5432, 818-461-5432. We are talking about our thoughts, our views, and sharing our opinions that has been post-election. What does it mean? How do people feel? More importantly, how are you preparing yourself? There are some people saying, I'm getting out of Dodge. Dawn, I want to move out of the country. Some people are concerned with the fact of, oh my gosh, are my rights being totally taken away? Now, Natasha, she says, I have always heard when you white, you're right. And when you're black, you stand back. Ooh. When you're when you white, you're right. When you're black, you stand back. Ooh, that resonated in a way. It's just unfortunate. Different things that, from my understanding, again, I'm working as not a news expert but a commentator. So this is an open dialogue. For if anything is misconstrued, let's have a conversation about it. But What is the old idea where a lot of our welfare programs being demolished? We're talking about EBT. We're talking about some health care. What does that mean for people? How do you feel about that? And these are the things that I'm talking about. We need to talk about. Does it mean that everybody that is on the welfare system, are they taking advantage of it? Is there any reason why today's age somebody must be on welfare? Does it mean that you're not working hard enough? Now, here's the thing, all of us stand on a different kind of platform. And what I mean by that is that if you've had generations and generations that have helped up level your platform, of course, you can see over the fence. But what about somebody that had to dig themselves out? They had to dig a tunnel, especially if you are a person of color. Your platform isn't that high. So is it unfair, would you say, to be held to the same standard? Again, we're just having a conversation. Again, we're just trying to get to the heart of the matter. Again, if you have some thoughts that you want to share, this is your time right now. Please put us on some new ideas and ways of thinking, how we should move, or perhaps the different things that we should do. Now, I haven't heard anybody say how they're preparing for these next upcoming 4 years. What does it look like? Does anybody have any suggestions of the things that we need to put in place, things that we need to keep in mind, ways that we should guard our hearts and our minds? I want to hear from you. Call me right now in the studio, 818-461-5432. That's 818-461-5432. I want to hear from you. I want to know what this election was meaning to you. What does it mean for your family? Are there many what message would you say to the countless of people of color who you feel as though this election will negatively affect? If you had something that you could say to them, if you had some words of wisdom you would share with them, what would you say? And you can call me or you can put it in the chat. But either way, I want to hear from you, because if we don't get comfortable with having these conversations, then I don't know what's going to happen. We can't just keep sitting there on the sidelines waiting to see what everybody is talking about, because it very well could be your voice that can make a change. Now, you heard it, scared money don't make money. With scared change don't make change. You're going to have to be the change. And sometimes it just starts with a discussion. But don't sit here on the sidelines murmuring under your breath, say, oh, they should have did this, because now you got an opportunity right now to talk about it, because you never know who knows who. You don't know who this can reach that can spark a different idea, that can get people marching to a different tune, singing a different song. But if we're not talking about it, then what? I'm just saying. I want to hear from you. I intentionally said, let me make room. It is after the election. Folks are having mixed reviews. Some people said that the city in LA was just quiet, it was just somber. But I'm like, it's interesting, because if you look at the polls overall, this is what the country wanted. So when it's time to talk about something and when it's time to stand up, I'm just trying to say, where you at? I can't see you because I can't hear you. And for many people, they can't be you. So, what's up? How are we going to make the change? How do you suggest that we move forward? What does it look like? Please enlighten me. I'm coming in a space where teach me something I did not know. Shed some light. Because again, it can't all be bad. Some people say they want better food, better health coverage. They want to have higher wages. Why is it that folks feel as though with Trump, those types of things will change? And how come Biden and Kamala Harris didn't make it happen? It's interesting. A lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but common rhetoric that I would hear is like, before, when we thought that a lot of black men weren't supporting Kamala Harris, it was like, well, she ain't spoke to us in the past 4 years. Why all of a sudden, 90 days or however many days from the election, she got so much to say? Well, what did Trump ever say to you? I'm just thinking back on the last rally that was up in New York. He had a whole comedian talking about, was it the black neighbor, but something about carving a watermelon and putting it on their head? Talking about Puerto Rico is like an island floating with trash. So are we getting ahead of ourselves, feeling though as black descendants that we have been picked on? Because I mean, has he not been calling everybody out? Is that something we can appreciate? Now, immediately I wanted to compare this to a comedy set, but there's nothing funny about this. But just like a comedian, they sit there and poke fun at everybody. They calling everybody out, but the truth is unveiling. And so what does this truth say about you? What does this truth say to you? Again, I'm just trying to have a conversation. Again, I just feel like it's something as a people we need to talk more about. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get a couple more calls in, but I guess it's time to wrap it up. Because the purpose of this conversation today is to hear from you, to tell me what you think, to enlighten us with some vitamin D on how we need to move forward. Let me see if Miss Felicia is around because I know she got something to say. Look like she might be busy.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
All right, I'm going to try to call Miss Wanda. I know she has been extremely active when it comes down to us and vitamin D. Uh-oh, here she go. Hey, sister girl. Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Miss Felicia.
Hey.
I was calling because, I had put up a conversation. I said the podcast, what we're going to be talking about today is, are people mad, sad, or glad that Trump won? And I was just wondering, what are your thoughts? How do you feel?
Oh, numb. Numb. For the most part, I know we're on a roller coaster ride come January 6th. I don't want to really hear that man's voice. I turn my television off. I don't want to hear anything about his winnings. I know there's some scandal behind it somewhere in this country. I'm just tired. And I'm just trying to relax by meditating and being creative in order to get my mind off this craziness.
And let me ask you
Indeed.
this.
And
What are
I'm just
some
going to put my energy in trying to help Cornel West with that third party, get that third party going, because we need to change. We need a change.
So enlighten those who may not know. What is Dr. Cornel West talking about?
Right now, he's talking about just moving forward, trying to get the Justice for All party created so that they can be in the running, or the party itself can be in the running in the near future. And, just getting involved, getting organized to move forward and to be able to, just to be able to cope with whatever it is that we're going to be faced to deal with as in these next 4 years, whatever it is.
Now, this going to sound absolutely insane, what I'm about to say, but make room because it just came to me. What, in fact, if this election with Donald J. Trump happens to be the best thing for, let's just talk about Black people right now in general? And well, let's think of it like this, because right now we are forced to have to rely on each other, right? We're going to have to depend on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, before desegregation, while we may have experienced a lot of backlash outside of our community, we were stronger than ever. We bought from ourselves.
Much stronger.
So is this a situation where now we're forced to look at our sisters and brothers to our left and the right and see who got us in our front and our back? Because clearly, if this is the case, it's time for us to rely on one another, right?
I agree with you. And I don't think that sounds asinine whatsoever. I think this is it's going to be a wake-up call for a lot of folks. And like I said last week, our educational system has failed a lot of people, and a lot of folks can't think their way out of the box. And I'm glad to see that the numbers of Black voters was as high as it was for both men and women. And there was only about 18 to 20% of men that did not vote for Kamala. The people that failed us was white folks and Latino men. Those were the three groups that voted for Trump. And we need to see these people for who they are and
Hey,
stop all that kumbaya.
well, what that mean? Well, what does that
It
look like?
means opening our arms and doors to everybody else. Take care of ourselves, just like you said. You know, I think the one thing that messed us up as a people was probably desegregating. Hell, we did better when we had our own stores in our own communities and thriving.
It just makes you think of how brilliant the psychological mind, FUCK, if I could say it, it is. Because for some reason, and I know I'm gonna be transparent. I get older, I get wiser. But it has been sometimes we feel like if we go outside of us or we reach somewhere else, that we got a better product, a better opportunity, a better
Well, see, but
situation.
Don, we have been psychologically damaged to believe that other people's, uh, I guess, other people's situation is better than what we have. And we just need to, well, it's a lot. It's a lot of damage, that we have to deal with. And the question is, are people willing to deal with that
Hey,
psychological damage that has been plaguing us in our DNA for years and years and generations?
hey. And that just brings it back to Miss Latasha. She was saying, especially we were just talking about the prison systems and so forth. And even with Proposition 36 about upping the crime if you've been convicted more than once. And she's like, well, wait a minute, because now that Gascon's out and he had ideas and ways to actually help people and not just, keeping people incarcerated forever. It just makes you think about like the fact of what is this going to mean for the people? I lost my thought because the phone rang. My apologies. But what
No
does this
problem.
mean when we talk about our people being locked up if we're not getting to the heart of the matter about what people are dealing with mentally?
Mm. Oh, we got a lot of self-reflection we got to do, but with people being so mentally out there on a negative kind of way, they don't even know they damaged, I guess.
Hmm.
You first got to figure out, know that you are damaged before you can do something about it. And then once you figure that out, you got to want to do something about it.
Hey.
Do the people want to fix themselves and their issues and their problems?
Hmm.
I don't know
It's almost like I
what to
feel
say
like with
about them.
some people, it's like being in a room with the lights off and you don't even know that they off.
Hmm.
Miss Latasha said mental health is real. Okay, well, thank you, Miss Felicia. And on the 17th, we celebrating a birthday in the house.
Oh yeah,
Oh
oh
yeah. We
yeah,
pulling up. We gonna get some
oh yeah.
sound baths, some yoga. I'm gonna hit one of them days. It's a little crazy
Okay,
right now
please
because I'm
do.
in class and I got a
Because I
performance
was sitting
coming
up
up.
there by myself yesterday.
I saw it last minute. I'm gonna look at the dates
Hmm.
again. I'm gonna pull up on you. We gonna celebrate, do some yoga, sound bath, all that stuff. And it was
Yes,
good seeing you on
and know
Saturday.
that the Be Her Film Festival is going on that weekend too down there at LA Live, November 15th,
Oh,
16th, and 17th. So I'll be down there as well, looking
okay.
at some short films and movies done by up and coming uh, directors and producers of African American descent and of the diaspora.
All right now.
So that's available to your listeners if they want to come out and check out some good movies. Go over to LA Live on November 15th, 16th, and 17th. There's a Black Film Festival going on. Go to Be Her.
Okay, we
B
got it.
E uh-huh.
Spell it out.
BHER. Sandra Manley Film Festival.
BHER. Okay, well, thank you so much, Miss Felicia. I'll be talking to
Mm-hmm.
you soon.
Sure enough.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. I love when she be like, show enough. Okay, Tim Cornegate called. So let's see what Tim talking about. We up leveling. Listen, make room. Before the whole conversation was I was at home. I said I gotta get back in the studio. I was trying to rig it to where I can have y'all call in the studio line. I was hoping for multiple lines, but listen, we make your room because you see it. You see it soon. I'm gonna have a producer up in here. Okay. And soon we'll be having multiple calls and lines. And soon I ain't gonna be out here having to call each and every one of y'all because y'all gonna be blowing me up. Okay, so let me call Mr. Cornegay. Mm-mm. Tim Cornegay. Let's see what he got to say.
This is Tim. Who's calling?
This is doing like the break of day.
Hey Don, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I got you live on the podcast
Oh,
right
do
now.
you?
Yeah, right now. That's why I said, let me tell you right
Oh,
quick.
okay. Well, don't let sudden.
Dale was telling me that I need
I've
to
been
call you.
warned.
You've been warned.
I've been warned.
I wanted to hear your thoughts. Are you mad? Are you glad? Are you sad that Trump won? What does this mean? And what do we need to do as a people to engage and move forward?
For one, I'm neither mad, glad, nor sad. I'm inspired to go to work. I know anytime in election situations like that, the election is over on Tuesday and it's time to go to work on Wednesday. Um, the Trump situation just proves that in the country we live in, anything can happen at any time to anybody. And a culture of misbehavior, a culture of racism, a culture of disrespecting women, no pun intended, but it trumped information and common sense. So it puts us in the position where we really have to understand that, a lot hasn't changed in this country.
Mm. So why we trying
That,
to act all surprised? What you think that's about?
well, some people want to believe the beautiful lie. And the beautiful lie is that racism doesn't exist in this country at the highest level. That it's being minimized by the opportunities that's been given to some, and that if you work hard enough, you study hard enough, you may be able to access what they call the American dream.
Mm.
When the truth of the matter is, the struggle is real for most. And if Tuesday didn't prove that white privilege reigns supreme, then we in trouble.
Sure enough.
So, for me, local has to take care of itself. Can't spend too much time worrying about what's taking place nationally and not focus the attention on what's going on locally. Because while the country was electing a president with 34 felony convictions, in the state of California, our communities were busy not passing Proposition 6 and eliminating forced servitude in the California Department of Corrections and not necessarily rehabilitation. We didn't overturn Costa Hawkins to deliver a degree of rent control to folks who might need it, nor did we pass a mandatory minimum wage, which that part right there might be unbelievable, especially considering how much it costs to live in most parts of California. But last and certainly not least, and maybe the most wicked, is voters passed Prop 36.
Okay, let's talk about it because here's the thing. I would think that if you, okay, y'all, this is what I was talking about with Miss Latasha. And I was talking about how essentially, like, if you're committing a crime and if you commit a crime repeatedly, the punishment gets more severe. Is that correct, Tim? Or can you
I mean,
basically
yeah, but
share what it
you
means?
don't need newer laws to address the issues that they have been highlighting. And for one, in terms of smash and grab, smash and grab is not legally considered to be petty theft, because anytime you enter a business and deliver what legally they term as threat of force and violence, then your crime automatically becomes serious and a felony. So to say that they needed new legislation to impact, the smash and grab that have been taking place across California is just, pure narrative manipulation, because there's already laws on the books to address that and to recriminalize drug uses and drug possession, to mandate forced rehab or prison for individuals that they know need help. That doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make physical sense, but it doesn't make fiscal sense either, because it's going to cost the state hundreds of millions of dollars to actually implement the things that are going to be needed as a result of Prop 36.
So you're saying, because I'm just trying to think of some of the things that I saw when I was reading on voting for it. So you're saying that if an individual is caught with a hard drug such as fentanyl, and they are
mandatory prison sentence.
You don't think that should be the case?
But here's the thing. If an individual is inadvertently in possession of fentanyl, the law is still applicable.
When you say inadvertently, what do you mean by that?
That means a lot of these drugs that are being passed around nowadays are cut with fentanyl, and the people who are in possession of it don't know it.
But
and
should
that's
you
why
even be
I
doing
say,
the drug in the first place?
Should people? Well, I think drug use is a personal decision. That if you want to infuse your body with some kind of toxic substance, that's a personal decision. You need help. You don't need handcuffs.
I feel like, and maybe because I'm not as well versed, because I mean, I'm trying to, I hear what you're saying, but it's like we can't make it okay. I don't think necessarily we should put people as an example, but I don't think it should be overlooked to the fact that you should not be in possession of fentanyl. I don't know, because I think I did vote yes on this, because I'm thinking to myself, well, how do we stop it? I was looking at a post, a social media post. This girl was in Japan or something like that, and she said she couldn't find no marijuana at all. She was like, people have CBD, but it's an absolute hard no. And how do we get to the heart of the matter to stop? Because if we get enough people, hypothetically, if they're incarcerated or people scared enough, isn't this going to essentially save our community?
But the increase in penalties has never been a deterrent to actual commission of crime, and that's one thing. But how about investing in the root cause of why things are the way they are? Okay. I mean, locking folks up to address a problem doesn't cure the problem. It just prolongs the problem.
Oh, so what's the cure if you got some people that don't even want to get help? What you supposed to do?
When you have folks who don't want to be helped, then there may be some kind of mental deficiency or some kind of mental challenges that they're suffering from.
And so why aren't we investing in that, huh?
Exactly.
It's almost like, and pardon how this may come off, but it's like, well, Is this a situation where we're trying to fix broken people, right? And is it a way that there comes to a point there's nothing you can do? Like if somebody is out of their mind, how are you able to talk sense into them? How can real change take place because you can't even hear me? Or
But
is
I
that
mean,
not
but on the
true?
same token, if somebody's out of their mind, how does locking them up address it?
Okay.
So where's the middle road? Where's the opportunity to develop an understanding, a model on how to deal with this, as opposed to just throwing your hands up and saying that I just want to spend a bunch of taxpayers' money to hide you from a society to make it look like we're dealing with the problem, which is all that's being done, and just putting individuals in spaces where society doesn't have to see it, but the problem still exists.
Miss Latasha said it's called a broken mirror. So
I
then
would not disagree.
what do you say we need to do? What do we do then?
Um, it's going to generate a longer conversation, but we need to invest in humanity. We need to invest in healing. We need to invest in trauma informed care. We need to invest in the research and analysis that it takes to get to the root cause of why all of a sudden there are so many people who choose homelessness as a way of life. There are so many people that want to escape from the harsh reality that their lives present them with through excessive drug use.
Hmm. I'm here for it.
That would be my take on it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Is there any last things you want to say to the people about how to encourage people to move forward or things we should focus on? Anything at all?
Um, Lastly, I would say, folks, is to take care of yourself. Think in terms of being healthy as you possibly can, and learn how to love yourself, because when you love yourself, it's easier to love someone else.
Come on.
That will be my closing statement.
All right, Mr. Cornegay. Thank you so much for pulling up on me.
Oh, you are so welcome, and thank you for calling. Appreciate the opportunity. Stay blessed.
You too. All right.
All right. Peace.
I ain't gonna hold you. I agree. When do we get to the healing? But the healing is gonna require some feeling. It's gonna require conversation. And it's going to be something we got to work through. We're going to have to massage this. This is not a hit it and quit it. We got to figure out what the pressure points are, what angle, and also how much pressure to apply. Because you're right. Essentially, it is putting a band aid over or hiding. And vitamin D is all about shedding the light on the good and the bad. Because what do I say? If you want to be better and you want to do better, well, you're going to have to be able to see better. And just having you out of sight, meaning having you incarcerated, putting you, it does not mean that we're getting to the heart of the matter. And just like Mr. Tasha was saying, right, a lot of people have been traumatized, victimized in so many ways that they forgot, or we as a society are not even treating them as humanized individual. I was riding on the rhyme there in case you didn't catch it. But no, essentially, yeah. How do we invest in humanity? And it just makes me think of Brother Proverb, one of the first individuals we had on the line that called in and basically stated, Dawn, this is the change that we need to see. Dawn, how are we going to get together to be that change? At what point do we decide to be the change? I'm just saying. We having a conversation. Miss Latasha said it's going to take blood, sweat, and tears. All right, I want to welcome anyone else that wants to call in with some thoughts, some views, and opinions. 818-461-5432. That's 818-461-5432. We are having a conversation about what it means this election. What is it going to mean for us as a society, as a community, and most importantly, as a people? Now, I had introduced the notion to Miss Felicia. I said, well, what if this is the best thing that could ever happen to us? Because for some reason, maybe we had our sunglasses too long. Maybe we've been hiding under a rock, behind a bush, behind a building, somewhere in the shadows that we forgot to see America for what it is. They say you do not fear what you can see. It's what you do not see. So now that in case we had our shades on too long, in case our vision was blurred, it's crystal clear now. So beyond the time before, when we had to, before desegregation, we had to rely on ourselves. We are in a situation we are going to have to require for us to look to our left and our right. Have somebody's front and have somebody's back. This is a 360 ordeal that we're going to have to address. And like Brother Proverb was saying, I had lost it. I got it back now. Is that what happened when you get older? Hush your mouth. Just like how he was saying, even with the jobs. Before, he's, working for Metro. Now he may be sitting there watching a robot operate the Metro. When do we get in back to investing in ourselves? And when do we draw the line when it comes down to some of this technology and advances? That we are now cutting our own self out the pie. And I'll be damned because everybody's trying to get a slice of pie. So how is it working to our advantage to cut ourselves off? So again, to bring it right back, maybe this could be the best thing to happen for us. Not to us, I said for us. Because now we got to rely on each other. Now we need to up level the conversation. Now if we see somebody doing some things they ain't got no business doing, we pull them to the side. We offer those resources. We start these organizations. We start back to talking to one another. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. I'm just saying. We having a real conversation with real people right now on Vitamin D. And I'm so glad that you can join me. Now we are closing it up. I want to welcome once again, if you want to call in, it's not too late to share some thoughts, some views, and opinions. We have said a lot today. I just got a different understanding of what's happening on with Proposition 36. Is anybody going to be impacted by what's happened with the rent control? I mean, at what point do we have to realize, not make room for what I'm about to say? Is there a point where we need to take in consideration that maybe we do not need to rely on welfare as much? Is that a thing? Is that such a thing? Now, Bear says, I'm tired of hearing our skin color folks talking about, yeah, now I can get to another stimulus check. I look at them with disgust, and they have the nerves to be so happy about it. All I can think of is, you one of them, and have to distance myself from you. Not in those exact words, but hey, people that are leaning for a handout. Is that what you're saying? These are conversations. I understand what you're saying. Now, even myself, here's the thing too. And I don't agree with people that will rely on it, but I do think that when we've all worked a job and we've all had to rely on it, it should be there and we should use it. I don't think it makes you less than. I think it should be what it's used for. But now we're going to strip away from people having opportunity. But then you're right, Bear. How do we draw the line of people that's just getting the free money? Again, a lot of people are experiencing trauma. Again, some people just don't have that common sense, like Miss Latasha was saying. So that's what we're talking about. All right, y'all. Well, I guess it's about that time. I don't have anybody else on the line that's calling through. I don't have anybody else that I'm about to call to speak to. So I want to thank you so much for pulling up on me. Thank you so much for this conversation. I appreciate each and every one of you pulling up to share your thoughts, your views, and opinions about what this means for us. I hope it's highlighted that we need to make sure we stand on the local stance and get to know one another to help one another because all we got is one another. And what's happening around us. Yes, I understand that we ought to be concerned about what's happening on a national level, but what's happening in your neighborhood? What's happening right down the block? Heck, what's happening right next door where you can reach out to? So I'm off of my soapbox. Yes, Miss Latasha, you will see me in December for the toy drive. We are gonna have ourselves a good time. Yes, Sunshine Resource Center out there in Long Beach. I want to thank all of you once again for pulling up. I am going to keep you guys posted on Facebook about next week. Bear says, I love it here. Keep doing your thing, says Lover. You are truly needed for us. Oh, thank you. You're gonna make me get emotional. Y'all, you can't fail if you don't quit. Okay? Keep pushing, keep pressing. I pressed myself back in the studio. Do y'all remember when I was talking about this? Oh God, and I just thank you all for sticking by me. I start to get it more when people say you gotta be out of your mind for your dreams. Cause it's not gonna make sense. Every logical reason, you're like, what? But you gotta have heart. And you gotta stay 10 toes down. So it's baby steps, but we progressing because you see it. You see it. Miss Latasha, Miss Mayan is asking, what's the address for the toy drive? Can you comment and put the information? So as I was about to say, excuse me, let me get myself together. I have a huge show coming up. It's one of my dreams too. I got a show on Monday, November 18th, and I'm gonna have multiple scripts to memorize to get ready for this performance. And yes, I love this here. I love what I'm doing. Um, I'm just going to try to figure out if I can balance the time with next week being the right preparation for the show if I'm going to be live. So there is a possibility that vitamin D will be off next week just because I want to make sure I'm able to focus and hone in for my performance. But I'm going to be back after that. Cousin, yes, you do. Brenda came last year and now I'm on the next level. So I got a performance on Monday the 18th in November, and then I have one in January. So maybe you can come into January if November 18th is too soon. But anywho, I want to thank all of you. Thank you for pulling up on me. Thank you for standing by me. Be sure to check out Miss Latasha. She commented in the comments about how to reach out to her for the toy drive that I will be at on December 20th to pass out the kids. And we're going to really do the promotion going. And we're going to have you on a couple times to really promote the great work you are doing. So thank you, and thank you. Okay? All right, y'all. I love you and I appreciate you. And I see you. And make sure you see yourself. Now, if you love this podcast, make sure you share it and tell somebody to tell somebody else that damn Dawn Day got a podcast and it's called Vitamin D. All right. Also, I take advice letters, or if you would like to recommend somebody to be a guest, send me an email, vitamind@dawndai.speaks.com. That's vitamind@dawndai.speaks.com. Also, I'm getting back up revving into it, but follow us on all social media for the podcast, Vitamin D, Dawn, DAI. And then, of course, as always, if you want your own personal vitamin D, that be me, baby. I love doing that. Follow me on all social media at DawnDAISpeaks.com. I always say, I'm in the business of making dreams come true. And I damn sure ain't gonna forget about mine. So until next time, family, always remember, you are your greatest asset.